South Australia is often called the Festival State, a place of picturesque coastlines and quiet towns. Yet in the 1990s, a sequence of events unfolded in and around Adelaide that would forever brand the state with a far more sinister nickname, the murder capital. We are charting the dark, decade-long reign of terror, orchestrated by John Bunting and his accomplices, the chilling true story of the Snowtown Murders. This horror began quietly in the working-class suburbs north of Adelaide, as early as 1992. The ringleader was John Bunting, a manipulative and charismatic man who harbored an intense, delusional hatred for anyone he deemed weak, including homosexuals, drug users, and particularly anyone he suspected of being a pedophile. Bunting quickly gathered a loyal, subservient following, most notably Robert Joe Wagner and James Vlassakis. Bunting used his intense paranoid beliefs to justify controlling and eventually torturing and murdering people within his own social circle. He convinced his group they were cleansing their community. The killings were brutal, prolonged, and often preceded by days or weeks of psychological and physical torture in homes in Salisbury North and other northern suburbs. Bunting and his group would exploit the victims' welfare payments, continuing to collect them long after the person was dead, sometimes even forcing victims to sign over their bank details before their final, agonizing moments. Over the course of 7 years, at least 10 people vanished. The victims included Vlassakis' own mother and half-brother, as Bunting's control extended deeply into the families of his accomplices. Each disappearance was logged by police as a separate missing person case, with no immediate link connecting the victims to a single group. The first major break in the case came in May 1999. Police, investigating the missing person case of Thomas Trevelyan, searched a house formerly occupied by Bunting and Wagner. In the backyard, they found 2 bodies wrapped in plastic and buried under the soil. This confirmed a terrible reality. They were dealing with a serial killer, or killers. This led investigators to a disused bank in the small, isolated town of Snowtown, about 150 kilometers north of Adelaide. One of the accomplices, Mark Haydon, had rented the bank vault for storage. The police forced entry. The stench was immediate and overwhelming. Inside the vault, police found 8 decomposing, dismembered bodies. They were stuffed into 6 large plastic barrels, submerged in a corrosive mixture of hydrochloric acid. The gruesome discovery gave the case its infamous moniker, the bodies in the barrels murders. The sheer scale and depravity of the crime shocked the nation. The subsequent investigation and trials revealed a horror show of torture, humiliation, and murder that was almost impossible to comprehend. Ultimately, John Bunting was convicted of 11 murders and sentenced to 11 consecutive terms of life imprisonment without parole. Robert Wagner was found guilty of 10 murders, and James Vlassakis, who turned key evidence for the Crown, pleaded guilty to 4 and received a reduced sentence. The Snowtown Murders exposed a terrifying truth, that the most monstrous crimes can happen not in the shadows of a big city, but hidden away in plain sight, fueled by one man's terrifying manipulation and a group's willing subservience. It remains one of the darkest and most psychologically disturbing crime sprees in Australian history, a haunting memory of the year Australia truly lost its innocence.
Hope this is helpful information for you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Until then, have a great time, goodbye, and many thanks.